kind of bonus series thing that I want to get started. Won't be an everyday thing, kind of like how the Learning with Incon games won't be every day. I want a variety of helpful content at the end of stream. So in general, it's probably going to be one God guide plus one other thing, one God guide plus some tips, one God guide plus a Learning with Incon, whatever. And so today, I wanted to talk to you guys about the top 5 ways not to tilt in Smite. These are things that you can actively do to either help prevent tilt from occurring in the first place or help you prevent from getting tilted in game if you start to get tilted, steps that you can take. Because I think everybody's been getting more tilted this year. I think we've all seen it with our teammates, and I think we all wish that our teammates had a small little guide of a couple of things that they could do. So we're going to start this off with number 5, and this is actually one of the things that people question every single day when I do this. I get questions on it, so I know for a fact that people don't know this, and that is going to be at the start of your Smite game, mute the enemy team. One of the easiest things that you can get in the habit of at the start of every single match of Smite, mute the enemy team. What muting the enemy team does is twofold. The one thing that people realize that it does for the most part is it stops the enemy team from whispering you. Now that is not so much a problem in Smite. There's not usually a bunch of whispers going down of like people like talking BM or anything. But the main thing that it does is it stops you from hearing their characters' taunts, jokes, laughs, all of it. So you know when you're playing a game of Smite and you're not having a good time and then the enemy hits you with a macro VEL 10 times in a row, all you have to do is mute the enemy at the start of the game and you'll never hear a taunt, you'll never hear a laugh, you'll never hear any of that ever again. Helps fight against getting tilted unbelievably well, because I know so many people that get pissed off when they hear it, and then you start to play worse because you start to focus them because they laugh spam you or they taunt spammed you. So mute the enemy team at the start of the match. Number 4 is going to be kind of a twofer on this one, and it all comes down to this philosophy of just focus on your individual results. So this is something that oftentimes I can be better with as well. When you're playing Smite, at the end of the day, it is a team game, which means you have 4 other people on your team that you have little to no control over for the most part. And if you focus on how everybody else is playing, oh, my duo lane is feeding and I'm doing great in solo. Oh, this person. Oh, that person. At the end of the day, all you can do is play your one God. And so if you go into the match thinking, okay, think less about overall, am I going to win this game? And more, am I winning individually? Did I play better than my opponent? Did I pick smarter? Did I get counterpicked? Could I have counterpicked them? Did I get the tower first? Did they get my tower first? Am I rotating before they are in the team fights? Is the reason why my team is dying because my solo lane partner is teleporting over and I'm AFK farming in lane? Am I contributing by getting objectives? Focus on those aspects of the game, and it'll take up more of your individual time and you'll have less time to tilt. On that same spot, stop typing. Period. End of story. Stop typing. Nobody has ever in the history of Smite typed nice things into chat. 99.9% of the time, if somebody is typing, they're talking trash. And if you're talking trash while typing, not only are you not helping the team in any way, shape, or form, not only are you making yourself liable to get banned, because people typing is almost exclusively what gets you banned in Smite, but you're also not playing the game while you're typing. That means you're not farming. It means you're not rotating. You're not getting a jungle camp. You're not getting a totem. You're not buying an item. You're not doing anything. The longer you type, the less time that you're playing the game, the less chance that you are going to win. So stop typing. Number 3, back into keeping yourself busy, also keeping your team busy, start to shot call. Don't give yourself time to tilt. Don't give your teammates time to tilt. Keep people busy with shot calls. This is extra easy if you have a microphone, so you can just be talking and shot calling. Okay, let's rotate to Gold Fury. Okay, let's get grouped up. Okay, Athena, make sure you're frontlining so they don't come in so you can zone. Okay, Wukong, make sure you're tanking the Gold Fury. If you're tanking, Athena's zoning. You can't both be zoning, you can't both be tanking. We need everybody to be working together. The more that you're shot calling, it gives other people less time to type. It gives you less time to type. And it focuses people back on the match. Because once you get out of the, like, I'm playing Smite, and then all of a sudden you're like, I don't even care what I'm doing anymore. I'm just playing a stupid game. Once you or your teammates get to that point, it's over. So kind of keep people in the try hard. Keep them playing the game. Keep them going to objectives. You can do VGS, attack the Gold Fury. You can do that way. It's better if you have a microphone. Number 2, this is a great way to prevent being tilted in the first place. Only play Smite with friends. I queue up ranked almost exclusively with Last right now. And it's not because I care about my elo. It's because queuing up with a friend makes Smite more fun. By a lot. You've got somebody to joke around with. You've got somebody to talk with. You've got somebody, if you're feeding your brains out, to razz you in a way that's fun. If you've got a full group, you can all queue up together. You can queue up with Johnny, who you know isn't very good at the game, but he's got big spirit and he tries his best, even though he's never had a positive KDA. We keep him around because Johnny makes the game fun and he cracks jokes about how much he's dying. Okay? So if you queue up with your friends, no matter what game mode you're playing, infinitesimally better chances that you're not going to tilt and that your teammates are not going to tilt. Now, if you're playing ranked, you can only queue up with one other person. But honestly, having one other person on your team that you trust is competent to play with is oftentimes all you need in order to make it through your ranked day. You're like, well, at least I'll have one other person on my team that actually knows how to play the game. So whether it's ranked or casuals, queuing up with friends, a lot more likely to help you get through the day. And now, number 1, this is more of the nuclear option, but sometimes it is the only option left to you. Every once in a while, and it seems like it's happening more than less nowadays, you get into a toxic sludge game. I'm talking, you're 2 minutes into the game, and you can tell how bad it's going to be. Because you got people spamming okay, you got people typing. They've been playing for 12 hours straight already. They're degenerates. They're already in a terrible mood. There's nothing you can do to reel them back in towards the light, which means the only thing that can happen that game is you getting pulled in to the darkness. So instead of getting pulled into the darkness, you do the nuclear option and you mute your own team. Don't engage with typing. Don't go down the VGS rabbit hole. You can mute your own team, especially the VGS. Almost never are people trash talking in voice comms. Almost never are people just all game long talking in voice comms. It's always typing in VGS. Always. So you can mute that typing in VGS and you can stop the toxicity from getting into your own bloodstream. Obviously, this means you're not going to be able to hear calls, but if your team isn't calling to begin with, and all they're doing is yelling at each other, then there's no downside. You're just saving your own heart. You're saving your own soul from all of the just toxic sludge that is being thrown out into the world. And so those are a couple of tips, guys, that can just help you focus in on your games, and honestly will probably help you win more, because once you get tilted, winning is very hard. Mute the enemy team. Focus on your own individual gameplay and whether you won your own matchup. Leave the team at shot calling. Don't give people enough time in order to get toxic. Queue up with a friend, so that way you can kind of avoid the toxicity to begin with, or overwhelm them. If it's like 3 friends queuing up and 2 of them, if there's 2 people being toxic, you can outnumber them. And then, of course, you always have the option of muting your own team when all else fails. If everything has gone into the floor and there's no hope, you can always mute your own team. So hopefully that advice helps prevent you from getting quite as tilted, and helps prevent your team from getting quite as tilted, which hopefully leads to you actually winning some more games of Smite.